Well, what do we have here? We have got Matt's Black Book of Marketing Secrets. And this is my personal swipe file for finding new marketing ideas, finding new headlines that I can deploy and A/B test. And literally, I went to Officeworks, which is like a printing company down here in Australia, and literally just printed out all these incredible ads. And if I ever need like a sub headline, a headline, this thing has my back. And today what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be sharing some of my favorite headlines from this book and marketing ideas that you can use in your business. And I don't care what business you're in, you can use these marketing ideas to get more response, more people clicking on your ads, more people converting on your offers. So buckle in, because this is going to be an awesome video and I can't wait to share some marketing ideas that are going to take your business to the next level. So let's get into training today. 13 marketing ideas you can steal and leverage for your own business and marketing purposes. And if you're on the lookout for more conversions and more customers and really making the most of your traffic spend, if you're currently advertising, then you're going to love this video. It's going to give you some really exciting concepts. And more importantly, if you're suffering from like a creative block at the moment, we're going to be able to blast through that and just give you some examples of some really cool marketing campaigns and some ad headlines that you can use in your own marketing campaign to boost response and boost results coming through. So let's get into it. So what you're going to discover in this video, you're going to get 13 marketing ideas you can model for a new high converting campaign, how to use copy to excite and motivate your prospects to use you over your competitors, as well as all the other options out there, and how a big idea can change your marketing forever and help you to dominate. And then how to never run out of marketing ideas again and become instantly creative. And then lastly, the number one thing every marketer and business builder needs on their desk at the start of a campaign. So if you're currently blocked at the moment, I'm actually going to show you what that is right now. And that is a swipe file, right? I've got this like little analog swipe file, which has got like all these successful ads in it, right? So it's got all these crazy headlines and just ideas, right? And I'm looking at the headlines, I'm flicking through it, I'm going from campaign to other campaign and just really understanding, okay, like what are the conversion principles that they're using and what are the exciting ideas that they're using to hook attention? And that's the one thing that every marketer needs on their desk. So my name is Matt Craig. I'm the co-founder of Persuasion Experience, and we've built out over 450 plus high converting funnels and landing pages for high growth brands, right? Brands that want to stand out, get more attention. And that's why we've got these swipe files, right? We study markets like you wouldn't believe, right? We get so in depth into this. We're constantly clicking on ads. We're going into the funnels. We're looking at the offers, and we've done this in 120 plus industries now. And I'm super excited to be sharing some of our inner process of how we actually design competitor crushing campaigns. So let's get into it right now. And so first off, why ideas and headlines? So the reason why ideas and headlines are so important, whether it's at the Facebook level or if it's on a landing page, right? If you got a visitor coming to your landing page, 100% of your prospects and traffic will see your headline, and it needs to cut through the noise, right? It needs to stand out. And one thing it needs to do as well is also answer this little acronym called WIFM, right? What is in it for me? If you don't address that from the get-go, your headline, your marketing campaign is going to fail, right? People are naturally selfish. People naturally have a very low attention span thanks to TikTok. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we address this, and we need to address that person's selfish desire as quickly as possible, because if we don't, we're going to fail. They're not going to understand. They're not going to be excited to read the rest of the page. They're going to understand your value proposition. And more importantly, they're just going to bounce. So if you just paid, $3 for someone just to come to this page, they're going to bounce instantly, and you've lost that $3 forever. You've lost that customer forever, and they're probably gone to your competitors if they've got a more exciting proposition. So that's why ideas and headlines are just so important to think about at a very high level for your marketing campaign. Hey, why us, right? Like that's just the number one question that you need to think about with your marketing. Like why you, what makes your business unique? Why should they go with you over your competitors? And really the idea and headline allows you to stand out and really hook that attention from the get-go. And just to this second point, right? If you don't hook them, you lose them. And that's really important to remember. So if your marketing is bland, boring, and vanilla, then they're not going to stay around. So that's what this whole video is about, is how to be more exciting in your marketing and how to stand out. And you're really going to enjoy some of these examples. And you've just also got to remember your advertising isn't in a silo, right? So, when someone's coming to your campaign, right? Maybe you do Facebook ads or something like that, right? We've got Dan Bilzerian doing handstands. We've got supermodels that are very underdressed, right? So you've got like this whole sort of slew of crazy attention getting getting like articles, posts out there, viral videos, political screw-ups, and breaking news. And that's what you're competing against, right? You're not just competing against your competitor, you're competing against everything else. And that's why you must stand out with your brand. As we get into this, I do have a warning, right? Like what I'm about to share with you is going to be pretty out there, right? Like these are some very aggressive marketing angles and ideas out there. You might feel a little bit icky watching them, and it's supposed to demonstrate and really go to the far end of being like, okay, this is where you could potentially take it. And we like to take it a few steps back, but ultimately this is marketing material that people have spent tens, if not hundreds, if not millions of dollars posting out to people, right? And getting people's attention. And for every dollar that they spend on posting all this material out, they're getting back $4, $5, $6, right? So it is extremely powerful. So think about the concepts and how they could potentially apply to your business. And just another word of note, like if you would say just try to run an exact ad like this, it might not be Facebook compliant as well. So obviously what we're doing here is showing some really beefed up examples of some amazing copy ideas and angles. And what we can do is just slightly tweak them, slightly adjust them to get more attention flowing to your brand so you can convert that attention into profit. So with that warning out of the way, let's get into it. So the first big idea and marketing angle is a breaking news angle, right? And this is in the investment space. 1,384 Enrons are now racing towards bankruptcy, right? So if you're currently an investor in the marketplace right now, you're thinking, oh my God, I need to know what is in this report. So this is a headline that really stands out. And what we like about this, and what I like about this in particular, is this call out, 1,384. It is ultra specific and it gets a lot of attention. And if I'm in the market, I don't want to lose money. I want to make sure that I'm not invested in one of these 1,384 businesses, right? So that is a really cool angle to use. And the next one is just to try an interesting juxtaposition. And this is something that I've used actually for a previous client in the property investment space. So obviously in America, they've got the Internal Revenue Service, like essentially their tax system. In Australia, we've got something called the ATO. And I had a property investment client. And what we said is, a new legal ATO endorsed strategy allows you to profit $5,000 per year from the tax man. And that got an immediate sort of response when we deployed it, right? It was really, really well thought out. And we had this amazing response because, it's that interesting juxtaposition, right? We're saying, hey, like instead of paying the tax, you can actually get tax back. And it's all perfectly legal. Let us show you how. And people are just like, hey, I need to find out more. It was the perfect opt-in strategy for us. Now, the next one is express a common frustration. So is there anyone left we can trust? Obviously, this is in like the political and then also like the doctor space. So that is one that you can do. And this is just like, you can notice here that like there's just so much focus on the headline, right? And that's exactly how your landing pages and like the Google, like your Google ads or even like your Facebook ads, that's where we need that focus to be, right? And that's like that hook point. And that's just like by leading with a question here, they're getting people to read on to the next copy here. Now, the next one is drop a big name. So President George W. Bush first moves will set this handful of stocks on fire. So this is obviously in the investment space. And by leveraging someone else's name, what they've been able to do is use a social proof and then also get people really excited and be like, oh, okay, this is going to be, really interesting to me. So that's one thing to note here. And I've actually seen this used in the agency space a lot, especially around like Facebook ads and everything like that. Everyone mentions Mark Zuckerberg. Anyone who advertises on Facebook might not necessarily be a big fan of Mark Zuckerberg. So it's actually a big link getter and a big attention getter, especially if you're spending money with Facebook right now. Like if you can call out Mark Zuckerberg, for example. So that's how people are currently using, dropping a big name in their marketing to get more response, get more clicks coming through and get more sales coming through. Now, number 6, address your prospect's dominant fear. And this is really good. We want to always enter into the conversation that is going through a prospect's mind, right? So if we're going after first-time investors, the number one thing is they fear losing money, right? There's so many scary news headlines out there. Even right now at the moment, like interest rates are going up here in Australia and everyone's scared and they're not sure what to do next. So by addressing that fear head on, and this is also really going into that breaking news angle as well, right? So, it's talking about like the current times and entering into that conversation that they're currently having in their mind, like, can I make money right now? So that's another great way to start a conversation, to open up with a really big idea around a dominant fear. Now, number 7, create massive intrigue. And I love this one. Yours free inside. These 3 trigger words instantly get the lowest price on anything you buy. And I just love this, right? Like all the bullet copy here is awesome. Like if you want, just pause it maybe even write this down, maybe take a screenshot of it. You could use this on any opt-in page today, and I assure you that this would absolutely crush, especially if you're selling something like, say, the Persuasion or the sales and marketing space. This little opt-in here, this would be an absolute lead magnet, as they say, right? Magnetic to leads. Leads would just want to hear about this, and this is just a really cool way. And there's huge intrigue, and then it's also very easy to say yes to, right? Yours free inside. These 3 trigger words instantly get the lowest price on anything you buy. I love this copy down here as well. Prove it yourself on page 1 inside instantly. No cost, no risk, no commitment, right? Really just making sure that you're able to, open this up and say yes to this particular ad. So that is an awesome one as well. I love this one as well. Number 8, pound the common enemy. One thing that's really great when you're marketing is to find a common enemy, right? Who can you throw rocks at? Who can you address? As we talked about previously, just on one of the other ones, like Mark Zuckerberg in the Facebook space, perfect enemy to throw rocks at. Not many people like Mark Zuckerberg, so that's an example. And obviously, again, another one in the investment space, there's a devil in the Dow. Obviously, some alliteration there, being a little bit cute, but it definitely gets my attention, especially as an investor. And then down here as well, we've got some interesting bullets here as well. But yeah, I just love the eyebrow copy here as well. Just released the astonishing new forecast and warning from Martin D. Weiss, PhD. Bit of social proof there. The investment prophet who correctly warned you about the stock market crash of 2000 and 2002, 6 months in advance. So that is really interesting as well. Another one is revenge, right? Double your wealth when crooked companies fall. You could use this in a whole bunch of different ways. If you're in the agency space, finally double your marketing returns without having to rely on an agency. If you had an offer like that, it would probably crush. So this is how we can start to, use something like this swipe file here just to become instantly more creative. And I hope you've been writing down some ideas about how this could apply to your business, because these are super powerful headlines. People have spent hours and hours and hours crafting these big ideas that you can now just leverage for your business. So is there a revenge angle? Is there an enemy within your space that you can throw a few rocks at and create a connection with the audience that way? And this revenge angle is a great way of doing it. And not many people want to talk about revenge because they feel like it's a little bit icky and things like that, but it is a huge motivator. While not many people are talking about it, they're definitely motivated by it. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. So the next one, number 9, a time-based urgency, right? So this is in sort of the natural supplement space as well. Proven he's healing the world's most incurable conditions in as little as 2 minutes. First thing that I think does sound like a scam. However, this is going to get attention from the get-go, right? But we need to definitely prove it. Obviously, we've got the guy in the lab coat and everything like that to help reduce some of that skepticism. But obviously, this is also in the natural healing alert as well. So it's actually, where is this actually being published as well? So that's really interesting to note. But having these big, ultra specific headlines, a great way of getting that initial attention in your marketing campaigns to drive more response. And that's the exact reason why they're using something like this. As we discussed at the start of the video, it's about getting that initial hook point as well. So 10, ultra specific benchmark, and you're probably starting to see some trends here, right? Oh, there's a lot of urgency, there's a lot of specificity in all these headlines. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you a framework called the 4U's framework for writing amazing copy. So tune in till the end there. But the ultra specific benchmark here, 548% gains in the great gold price explosion of 2004 to 2005. Think it's too late to more than sextuple your money in my select gold stocks? Please think again. A little bit wordy at the end there, but as you can see, this is pretty attention-getting stuff. And, if I'm in the investment space, I'm getting these sorts of newsletters, I'm definitely going to read to the very end of where I can get these 548% gains. Then also Oracle-like predictions. This is another one that we can use, especially in the tech space as well. The web is about to make the jump to light speed, right? So again, this is in the investment space as well, but making these Oracle-like predictions can really create, they want to be on the up, right? They want to be in the know. So if we can provide information that logs into that and links into that, the Oracle-like predictions are a great way of doing that. Challenging common beliefs as well. This is almost astonishing, right? Discover why one MD says, I haven't had a glass of water in 20 years, right? Absolutely mind blown. And this is obviously going out in health promotion here. It might just be I don't drink tap water or something like that. I only drink bottled water or alkaline water and things like that. But it gets that attention from the get-go and almost sounds unbelievable. I almost have to read on. They've got it in quote marks. You've got the ... It's pretty really easy to read on to these next ones. So that is another great way of starting your marketing campaign, right? Like challenging common beliefs. So for example, in like the advertising space is like, traffic costs are going down right now. Here's how. What you can do is actually use new traffic platforms so you don't have to pay, like Google's extortionate fees or something like that if you're a marketing agency. And then lastly here, number 13, we've got the Epiphany Bridge. And the Epiphany Bridge is great. There's the example of a company out there called Bugherd. So they're like a bug tracking tool. And what they say is like, it's like sticky notes for your website. And we help you to like remove bugs from your website as quickly as possible. So you can just sort of drop a few sticky notes on your website to, get it all fixed and everything like that. And this Epiphany Bridge works really, really well. And these guys have used it with like a really large headline here. So the single greatest lifesaver, penicillin, right? So they're talking about like the remarkable discovery here that's almost as good as penicillin or as good as penicillin. So this is going to get a lot of attention. Now, I mentioned earlier there's the 4 U's framework for writing amazing headlines. So the 4 U's framework is developed by a company called Agora Financial. So Agora Financial, they do about $1 billion in the financial newsletter publishing business, massive brand, very sort of like underground as well. So now I'm going to give you a simple framework for creating amazing headlines. And this is sort of almost like a checklist that you can use, and it's called the 4 U's framework, right? So it stands for urgent, unique, useful, and ultra specific. And we want to have a headline that ticks all those boxes, right? We want something that seems urgent, like I need to respond to it now. That's going to help us with response. We need something that's unique, right? Something that they haven't seen before, because that's going to get their attention. That's going to get them clicking through. And if we've got those urgency and unique things, like, boom, like we're onto like a winner here. And then it also needs to be useful, right? We need to answer that question, right? Like, what is in it for me? So it needs to be extremely useful to the person reading it as well. Like it can't be like just not unrelated to like anything that they want, because they're never going to sign up to it in the first place. And then lastly, it's just going to be ultra specific as well, right? So it's going to feel like it's a new way of doing things, or there's going to be this outcome that's going to be ultra specific to them. It's going to be useful. It's also unique, and it's also urgent, right? And if you can get those 4 U's within your marketing headline, and you're the above the fold of say like a landing page, or if it can be in your ad, like you are going to be onto a really high converting campaign. So that is the 4 U's, and that's what a lot of these headlines have in them. So see, as you can see here, right, like urgent news flash, lifesaver, like that is, unique and ultra specific. So there's some really cool things. And down here, right, ultra specific, more than 1,823 scientific studies prove this simple nutrient named inside. So this is all about talking about this new supplement, right? So that is the 4 U's framework, but that's what all these sort of great ads that I've just shared with you today to become more creative, that's what all these ads are using, right? They're using this 4 U's framework to write the most polarizing ad that's going to suck people into the marketing message and get them saying yes, which is what marketing is all about. So just to recap and remember, right? Step 1, stand out with your headline. When someone first lands on one of your conversion assets, whether it's an opt-in page, a landing page, an e-commerce store, you want to make sure you stand out. You want to be unique as well, right? You want to be able to stand out and be unique. And then lastly, be of personal interest to them. We said earlier, like this is just another say like what's in it for me, but making it extremely useful to that person is going to be absolutely critical. And obviously step 4, close the deal, right? Make sure that this headline isn't all just sort of like, massive fuel at the start of the campaign, then you've got like a weak offer on the back end. That's not how it's done. You want to have a strong offer on the back end as well. And that's sort of what we help out with conversion at Persuasion Experience, is really designing these amazing conversion assets. So that is everything with this video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you want me to dive deeper into like these copywriting, little comment below this video and we can dive more into these sorts of videos and share some more headline examples from my own personal swipe file. And super excited to have a chat with you on the next video. But if you did like this video, give it a like, maybe share it with a friend in marketing, and I can't wait to have a chat with you on the next video. Cheers.